Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope that you guys are doing well during this quarantine time. It's been really hard for me not really being able to go out and do anything and just staying home, but I am trying to stay a little bit busy. But anyway, I thought I would come on here and talk to you guys and let you guys get to know a little bit more about my life story and my testimony. So I'm going to share that and then we'll see what happens from there. So I was adopted when I was 16 months. Um, my birth mom was on drugs and could not take care of me and my twin brother, so she was told by the state that if she did not take us the next morning at 8 o'clock to the child services, that they would come pick us up and that we would be split and put in different homes. So my birth mom needed to go take us, but my mom, my adopted mom now, she and her husband, my father now, they were on their way back from Ohio, which is the area I was born and where I was living at the time. And her sister, they had just dropped her sister off. She had been with them during a hard time. She was going through a rehab from surgery, and they were taking care of her. But she got ready to go home. They took her home, and then they were heading back here. They were heading back to Missouri, where they lived at the time. And she called them and she said, "You need to stop." And my mom said, "What do you mean stop?" She said, "Well, there's two kids that need someone to come take care of them, and they don't have a home, and they need a place to live. And I told the mother that you would do it." And my mom and my dad turned around and they headed back to Ohio, where my aunt was. And my birth mom had left us at the house with her boyfriend. He was not our biological father, but she left us at the house and he was watching us. And my adopted mom, got there and she said that when I saw her, I ran up to her and I said, "Uppy," and she picked me up. And the neighbor across the street that was watching my birth mom, or not my birth mom, my adopted mom come up, he said, "Who are you?" And she said, "Well, I'm here to take care of these kids." He said, "Are you related?" And she said, "No." And she said, "Why?" And he said, "Because that little girl goes to no one." And he was just very shocked that I went to her, not knowing her. And Mom always says that in that moment she knew that God had destined her to be my mom. Sorry, I'm trying not to cry. But after that, she went up on the porch, and my twin brother, was in a playpen, and he was lethargic, and he couldn't do anything because we were not taken care of. When my birth mom, was pregnant with us, she was on drugs, and we were not fed properly. When my adopted mom got us, our hairline was all the way back here, which is a huge sign of malnutrition. We couldn't have sugar, we couldn't have salt, because our legs would hurt really bad. I don't know if you guys know what a shin splint is, but the doctor said that it's 10 times worse than a shin splint. That was what we went through when we'd have too much sugar. But anyway, my mom picked up my brother, and she said that he was so lethargic he couldn't do anything. He couldn't hold his head up, couldn't do anything. But she said that for some reason I could talk in full sentences. At the age of 2, I could have a full conversation with anyone about anything. I was definitely a talker early on. But after all that, finally got my birth mom to show up. She finally showed up at like really late that night, either 12 or like 12 to 2 the next morning. I'm not exactly sure, but she finally showed up. And my adopted mom said, "Well, if you're going to give us the kids, we need to go get a thing notarized saying that you have given us custody. That way we're not in trouble with the law or considered kidnapping." So they finally found a noter, and it was really late at night, like I said, or early morning, so they had a hard time finding it, but they finally found a notary. He notarized the note, and they finally headed back. They were taking me and my twin brother, and we're heading back to Missouri. Then she got a call right after they had passed, I think, the Indiana state line, I think she said. They got a call from the police chief of Ohio. Apparently, my birth mom's aunt thought that she had sold me and my twin brother for drugs, and she was calling the cops because she was afraid that we were going to be like we were in a bad situation. And my mom answered him and said no, we have a note from the mom, it's notarized and everything. The police chief asked her to turn around and head back to Ohio. So we turned back and we started heading back to Ohio. And he called frequently, was constantly asking where they were, where we were, and all that stuff. Anyway, we got back, talked to my mom and dad, then talked to me and John separately, checked up on us, tried to make sure we were okay. The DFS worker also checked on us and was talking to us. And the police chief looked at my mom and said, "Your kids are in good hands. These kids are in good hands. You guys look like you're a good family and you know what you're doing." And he said that no matter what the DFS worker said, we were going home with them tonight because he was the one who ran that district. So we ended up going home with them that night, and that was the first time that I ever got to be with the family that I'm with now. I grew up knowing I was adopted. Me and my twin brother always knew, but they never told us who our birth mom was for a good reason. Because it was a closed adoption, they were not allowed to tell us till we were 18 years old. Anyway, when I was 17 years old, they told me, my mom told me who my birth mom was, and it turned out that we had grown up knowing her. We just thought she was a family friend. We didn't know she was our birth mom. Started talking to her when I was 17. She's still on drugs. She's still not making the wisest choices. But the wisest choice she's ever made was to give me to the family that I'm with now. I would not be a Christian, I don't think. I would probably be in a horrible situation on drugs, probably in the same situation that she's in. But I'm very blessed. God has blessed me with such a wonderful family, with a caring family. No, they're not perfect, and they're not the perfect Christian family, but they love me and they care for me, and that's all that matters. Anyway, I didn't know who my birth dad was. My birth mom said that she had narrowed it down to 8 guys. That's a lot. But then I finally asked her again. I asked her several times from the time I was 17 to 18, and she finally told me when I was 19, around 19. It was like around December, I think, so I was getting ready to turn 19. But she finally told me who my birth dad was. And I got in touch with him. I was very nervous because I wasn't sure if he would want to talk to me. But I was more interested on knowing medical history, not so much getting to know him, because I was afraid he was going to be exactly like her, not mentally stable, still on drugs, not making the wisest choices. But got to know him. I have formed a pretty nice bond with him, and I'm very thankful that I did reach out to him, because I do now have a relationship with my birth dad. I did find out, I always had a feeling that I had more siblings than my twin brother, but I never had any basis of it. I always thought that John and I were the oldest. Come to find out, we are the youngest so far. My birth mom has one older son, and my birth dad has two older sons, and then him and his girlfriend are pregnant with a girl, so I'm gonna be a big sister. I am very excited. But the only reason I share this for you guys is because I did have a really messy life when it comes to birth, parents, and relationships and blood. But I've come to find out that family doesn't have to be blood. And I'm twice adopted. I was adopted by my adopted parents, and then I was adopted by God. I was adopted into His family. And I think that as Christians, we fall into the rough of not accepting other people and their situations or their family problems or their family ties, because it's not the perfect Christian family. It's not the way that it should be. And yes, I wish with all my heart that I had a stronger Christian family, but I have a loving Christian mother. I have a loving father. I have aunts and uncles who care about me, and that's all that matters. I'm loved. And even if they're all not Christians and they're not all teaching me to follow after Christ, I can be that light, and God can use me to be that light in their lives, and hopefully through my life they can see Him in me. But anyway, I just want to come on here and share that private part of me. I hope that you guys will be encouraged by it, because every time my mom tells the story of me running up to her and not ever doing that to anyone else, not even my own birth mother, it reaffirms to me that she was meant to be my mom. And God had a plan for me, and He wasn't gonna let me fall into the same situation that my birth mom did. He knew that there was something better for me, that He had something better planned for me, and that I didn't have to be stuck. I didn't have to be in that life, and He pulled me out, and He said, no, you're not going to do that. You're not going to go through that. Yes, you're going to go through trials. Yes, you're going to struggle with things. But I've pulled you apart. I've set you apart to be in this family. And it ended up being the best thing that He could have ever done for me and for my parents. But I'm just so blessed, and I just wanted to share that with you guys. But yeah, I'm really blessed, and even through the tough situations where I really do wish that I had a strong Christian father in my life who loved my mother, I don't have that, but I can still say that I'm blessed because I'm not abused, I'm not being hurt, and I'm being loved. And I have a mother who gave me the best gift of all. She taught me to love Christ and to seek after Him. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, that it touched your heart, and that it makes a difference in your life. I hope that you guys will like and subscribe, but please be kind when you share this information or you look at it, because it is it's hard for me to kind of open up and share about this, but it is also something that I feel like I needed to share. So I hope that you guys are doing well, and that you guys are staying safe, and that you're not going too crazy with this quarantine. So